So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can rank for highly competitive, very high search volume e-commerce terms by doing the right content and the backlinks strategy. And of course, a handful of other things that aid the success of a campaign like that. Welcome to another episode in the series, How to Rank for Everything and Anything. I'm Alejandro Mayahans, international SEO speaker, 10 years working in this industry, and over this last 10 years, I've served a variety of different companies, from portfolio manager at Onfolio, running a multi-million-dollar portfolio of websites, forensic SEO auditor at my own agency, Major Digital, and now the CEO of GetMeLinks.com, a multi-seven-figure link building agency that helps SEO agencies and consultants achieve results like this for their clients by knowing exactly what needs to be done in order to rank, what's the right budget, the right pages to work on, all the other stuff. You're gonna learn this today on this video. Let's jump right in. I've chosen the gaming niche because we do a lot of work for iGaming, casinos, gambling, all that kind of stuff, super competitive niches. And I've chosen e-commerce because we work with some really large e-commerce brands that wanna hit the jackpot type of keywords at the very top. And let's just start with this thing that I have here on the screen. If this is the first time that you see this, awesome, you're in for a treat. This is called the link report. You can get that in the link in the description box below. But fundamentally what this is a very deep backlink reverse engineer type of analysis of the competitors who are ranking at the top of search for any keyword. In this particular case, I'm going to do a handful of terms relating to gaming gear. Right, as you can see here, anything from the big gaming gear to chairs, desks, headsets, keyboards, PCs, mice, controllers, and speakers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the top 3 competitors that are ranking for those terms. And I'm going to tell you why they're ranking. First, from a link building standpoint, links are 80% of the SEO equation. And SEO is 80% of the AI SEO or GEO equation, because all search engines that are AI powered do traditional SEO searches as part of the data clustering process in order to give users a good recommendation that they will be happy with. And you can look at what AIs are recommending in any niche to also help you craft your own content strategy alongside with traditional methods like answer the public, reverse engineering competitors, etc., etc. I'm going to cover all of that in this video. I'm going to go from top to bottom, from the most important things to the other things that are complementary or that serve to round up a strategy, so that at the end of the video, in this half an hour or so that this will take, you will know exactly how to deploy a successful and effective, and by effective it means it works reliably and it costs as little as it can cost in order to deliver the results that you or your clients are after. Okay, so let us start with link building, and I'm going to look at the big broad terms, because when it comes to e-commerce, you always want to put most of your link building effort at the homepage and the core collections pages. And then you want to put a lot of effort when it comes to your content, your products, and so forth at the long tail side of things, so that you have a wide catalog of the products that your audience wants to buy. And you can also have this complementary content that will make sure that you can rank for those terms. And in virtue of doing that, you achieve topical authority, topical mastery. And in virtue of doing the link building to the right categories, you create power pages that will redistribute the page rank all throughout your website. So all of those long-term keywords that you're hitting with your smaller pieces of content can be captured, and then you can get all of those sales and reliably grow your online e-commerce. Let's go. So all of these steps, how do we rank for those? First, we've identified 3 competitors in this niche who are doing pretty well. They're not the largest brands, but this is our starting point, because the brand that I'm going to rank in this case study is going to be a brand that starts from 0. This is the same process that we've used to rank for actual brands that got us actual case studies of results like this. So with that, we have Lethal, we have 80K, and Max Gaming. As you can see, they're at different stages. Lethal has fewer points. What is this points thing that I have here on my screen, and why do I have like 5 buckets of power? Very good question. We do know from this study that Ahrefs, this plus the 5 years of experience doing link building that we have at GetMeLinks, plus the 10 years that I have ranking for everything under the sun, that anything under the year 30 is not really going to rank for that many things. And from the year 30 onwards is where all the interesting rankings happen. But specifically on this range here from 60 plus, you can see it is really where the big stuff happens. It starts to tilt at 40, but it's this year 60 and above. The websites that are here, that are built properly, tend to rank for all the keywords that they want to rank for. And so the first thing when it comes to getting backlinks that will help you rank is to get links from sites that are trusted. And trust means traffic. And by that, I mean organic SEO traffic. I don't care if a site has 2 million viewers a month from Instagram because they have the single best Instagram strategy in the planet. If Google has slapped them with a penalty of any kind and their organic SEO is 0, because that site will not give me a good backlink, even though there's a massive brand and they have loads of visitors every month and the link might be highly relevant. None of that matters if the trust of that website is 0. So this is the first thing to look at. I want to make sure that the sites that are pointing to my competitors are a trusted website. And this is what we use, points. So coming back here to this scoring system, the first thing is trust. If trust equals 0, all points equal 0 because anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Okay, once we have this, so all the links that have 0 trust are out. The links that have trust, then we have to segment them by power, which is what we do here. We have to segment them by power. Higher power links are going to matter the most. These under 30 links are going to matter the least. It doesn't mean that they don't matter, but because if you put most of your effort into capturing these links, because it's where most of the highly relevant, let's say hobbyist type of websites will be, most websites like that will be low DR. A lot of people will say, oh, let me spend 50, $100 getting those kind of backlinks here, and let me get hundreds and hundreds of link points here. I guarantee you these 20 links points that Max Gaming have are massively overpowering whatever these 214 points are, even though it's 10 times as much. Because of the DR, this is a logarithmic equation, it's not an exponential. A DR 60 is hundreds of times stronger than a DR 6. Okay, all of these need to be said, and I say it on every single one of these videos, which by the way, if you're enjoying this and if you're learning new things, I do one of these videos a day, every day, a different niche, a different reality, different stuff that I share depending on the context for the niche and the situation. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hopefully you will continue learning new things every day. And if you want me to do a specific niche for you, just say it in the comments. Alex, can you analyze plumbers in this city in Minnesota? More than happy, right? I'll do that for you so you know how to rank for your niche. Amazing. Now that we have these 3 competitors here and that we know that we're looking at points, because the next thing here after trust and segmenting the authority, right? Trust and authority check. The next thing is topical relevance. So is the website that's linking to our competitor and is the page within the website that's linking to the competitor relevant? If both websites and page are relevant, that's going to be a fully relevant link. It's going to score 2 points. Most links out there in the wild will only get 1 point because one of these two won't really be that relevant. Okay, right? So I'm going to assume that the links that we will build in the future will only hit 1 point, even though at our agency, we make everything that we can to make sure that our links score 2 points to get you further advantage there against your competitors. But in the wild, most links will score 1 point. So you could kind of say, when we say points, 20 links. But I have score points to contextualize the links that already exist. Okay, so when you aim to do this, think you will have to build 20 links, but this doesn't mean that this competitor has 20 links. In fact, let me show you lethal, okay? 8, 6, 9, 13, whatever that amounts to, plus this 39. If you go to lethal, you see they have 1.2 thousand referring domains. When you look at surface level data here in Ahrefs, right, you see something like this. Oh my God, I'm gonna need 1,200 links to outrank these guys? No, the vast majority of links that they have are worth 0. If you then look at the data for any of the other competitors, if you look at the data, for instance, for Max Game, you're like, oh my God, 9,200 domains. I'm never going to outrank these people. Yes, you can. Perfectly well. Here's, for instance, 80K Store, a newer contender who is in a very strong positive ranking state that even though they do have 1,300 referring domains, when we go back to the scores, we can see that they don't have really that many points, right? This is under 100. So if you build 100 really good backlinks pointing to the right pages at the right velocity, and most importantly with the right anchor text is just the text that appears in the backlink. A lot of people think that, hey, I want to rank for gaming chair. Let me just build 100 backlinks that say gaming chair. That's the quickest way of tanking your website and never ranking for it and getting a penalty. How do I know? Let me show you. So when you look at keyword like this and you see the anchor text that the competitors have used in order to rank here at the top, you can see that the vast majority of links are actually branded. They have the brand name, Respawn, Razer, Secret Lab. Some of them have exact match, and in this particular niche, I'm seeing a lot more exact match than in other niches. But if you watch any of my previous videos or the future ones of the other niches that I've done in this series of how to rank for everything and anything and then some, you will see that the vast majority of websites don't have any exact match. Websites ranking, that is, websites that are buried on page 5, they tend to have highly optimized anchor text profiles. This is why they're page 5 and not page 1. But in this particular niche, we do know we could be a little bit aggressive with our anchor text profile, but not that aggressive. We need to build at least 4 branded anchor text links for every exact match that we build, and then we can do maybe another 2 that are partial, right? So 4, 1, 2. That's going to be our distribution of the links that we point to our gaming chair collections page. This is based on what the competitors have been doing, and this is the competitors that Google is ranking. Yes, this is a DR71 and DR84, but good news, this is only a DR45. And we are going to bring our DR at around that point 30 plus. The average winning competitor of the 3 competitors that we analyze above was 42. So we are going to land very near there. So we could be outranking the guys that are right now number 1 for gaming chair, which is a keyword that has almost 300,000 searches a month, right? All we have to do is build a profile that looks exactly like this. And yes, we will have to get some of these links. I don't recommend you to start here. Start here, specifically start building your high DR 60 plus links. A few different ways that you can acquire these backlinks, and I will cover this part first before I go into where should you be pointing these links in this particular case, which if you are in on this niche, it doesn't matter so much. It's mostly for context. There's 3 highly effective ways of getting backlinks: digital PR, yes posts, and link insertions. Within digital PR, you have good old digital PR, you reach out to journalists in massive publications with a story, and you get featured in places like The Sun or Forbes or Entrepreneur, whatever. We got into a lot of these different places. Business Insider, Entrepreneur, we've been there, right? And you can also do reactive digital PR, which is you go to places like Harrow, Source Bottle, Quote, etc., featured, and then you answer the queries that those journalists have already put. I have this video here where I teach you exactly how to do that and get DR 90 plus links for free. So please go and watch it. You will learn a lot. And then if you don't need homepage links, and if you need inner page links, especially if you need collection page links, you cannot get those via digital PR. Those are great for your homepage and your brand anchor themes. Then you're going to need to rely on guest posts and link insertions. I typically prefer guest posts because I control the content that gets published. I control where the anchor text is perfectly placed. I control the anchor text optimization. And then I can work with websites that might not be 100% relevant, but they're open to collaboration if my pitch is good enough. I send them highly relevant content, which balance things out, and it gets me at least 1 point for each one of my backlinks. And then I can throw tier 2 backlinks to power up those newer pages, which is the main advantage of link insertions against guest posts. You can get links on pages that already exist, that they themselves had good traffic and good backlinks, and that would be great. But the amount of those pages that exist out there that haven't been abused by every single SEO out there, and those pages have an outbound link count of 50, are very few. So it's better in general to publish your own content as a guest in these high quality kind of websites that have good SEO, they're relevant, and then you power up those pieces yourself through tier 2s. What are tier 2 links? Good question. Tier 2 links are exactly this. So if this is your website and this is a link that you acquire from a highly relevant website, in a good page of content, but it's a brand new piece, which means the URL strength is low, what you can do is you go and you get some nice PBN links and you point them here. You can use other sources, but good PBN links are really good for your tier 2s, okay? Because they're cheaper. And you have to be safe with your anchor text that you're using this PBN. So this site doesn't get a penalty. Be careful because this is not even your website and they could disavow them, right? So you don't want that. You want to bring the URL strength up. That will in turn make this backlink a lot more powerful, more page rank, including that already have the trust and the relevance. That's how you win. That's how you get really good backlinks. This will going to come into place later as I show you some of the keywords that I would rank for in this niche. And you will see how to deploy those. With this being covered, quick check here, gaming gear, what do we see? Lethal with the homepage, Razer, and Best Buy. So when I see this and I see that Lethal only has a handful of links pointing to their homepage link points, most links that they have are garbage. They're worth nothing, Okay, and the URL strength is not too strong. Razer has even more, and Best Buy. Why is Lethal outranking two massive brands like Best Buy and Razer? Because they have, one, a lot of brand equity, and is the homepage. Plus they have a lot of nice user engagement in general for the brand, but it's only at tier 31. You can outrank this. And this is a good term to rank for because the search volume isn't that big. It's not like this gaming chair with this ridiculous volume here. You will not be able to rank for this right away. You first have to build your brand equity with Google. Google has to start sending you traffic in waves and stages. This is called the avalanche method, but the fundamentals are when you start, Google doesn't know you, doesn't trust you. As you send them the right signals through content and backlinks, they will give you this much trust. If you take care of that traffic very well and they're happy and they're satisfied and you feed Rank Brain and Nav Boost the right data, Google will give you more traffic and then more traffic, and you move up by stages, okay, as the updates go along and you do everything right between updates. Okay, if you do things wrong between updates, you will enter into a negative ranking state, and then you'll have to hire me to fix your website or somebody else. But I no longer do forensic SEO audits unless it's a massive drop for a really big brand that can afford what I charge, which is an outrageous amount. But when it comes to link building, I can work with you for a lot less because it's a lot more standardized and it's not my time. So how are we going to select this anchor text based on this formula? So this is 9 backlinks, amazing. We're going to do 4, 1, and 2, and then a couple more here, and then maybe 1 here. That's exactly what you have to do with your anchor text. Don't just do gaming chair, gaming chair, gaming chair. This is what these guys have done here, right? They're likely highly over optimized, right? That's not very good. As you can see, they have more links and they're not outranking Respawn products, which tells me that Respawn products probably has better user engagement, better built, faster website, and in general, the links that they have are less optimized. So I will not actually use this ratio. I don't recommend you to use this ratio. This is a safe ratio, but it's not what I will do. What I will do is copy exactly the exact same anchor text these people here have used because they're outranking stronger players. So there's gotta be a reason for that. Okay. Now, a few other keywords for us to look at here. I'm not going to look at all 9 of them because I don't want this video to be an hour long. Gaming desk, slightly less search volume. What do we see? Some specific competitors. I don't want to try to outrank these guys. Eureka Ergonomic, I can trust them to be compatible in a way, right? They will do desk, chairs, that kind of stuff, right? And they're higher DR side than I am going to be as I finish this first round, but they don't have a lot, which means that if I build more links than they have to my page here for gaming desk, and I do have the advantage that I do have the word gaming on my domain. If you don't have that, then you have a disadvantage. You need to account for that. You will need more links because your own page will be slightly weaker. Then I know that if I outdo these guys, I don't need to spend more money on this collection page. This is good enough. And for the anchor text, I will just do this and distribution that I see here. What about headsets? Okay, higher search volume, a lot more of a head type of keyword. And unfortunately, Best Buy is not comparable. Ratings isn't comparable. And Skullcandy kind of is, but Skullcandy almost only does this. So I will take it with a pinch of salt. I will try to outdo what Skullcandy has done here. I do know I need a ton of links, so I'm just trying to distribute them to the right pages. Again, everything that you have underneath this /brand/product will benefit from you building links to your gaming headsets collections page through internal architecture. If you want to learn what good website architecture looks like, go and watch this 40-minute masterclass that I will put here that I did a while back. It's a bit slow, it's very thorough, but if you take it with a nice cup of coffee, you will learn the 5 pieces of SEO, out of which link building is, of course, 80% of the job. But the other 20% is a condition sine qua non. Your site has to be built well. The information architecture needs to be set up properly. You're going to need some schema. You're going to need some good content. I will tell you exactly what content to publish for a niche like this. And a couple more keywords here just to see. For instance, keywords. What do we see? Logitech, bad. Ratings, bad. Best Buy, bad. I don't like these competitors. I don't think I can easily outrank them, even though they're within the same niche, but they're more specific to keywords. And it's a pretty big keyword. So I'm not going to build any links to this page, and I will use it as an internal test. An internal test is when we don't build any links to this page, and in the virtue of strengthening the website everywhere around it but this page, we see where we go from nowhere on the top 100 to somewhere on the top 100. And then I'm going to do a different page, which is going to be this one here for mice, with the results are very similar: ratings, Best Buy, and then Logitech. But in this particular case, I do want to build a few links Why? Well, I want to compare. I want to see for keywords, I did nothing. For mice, I did a little bit of link building. Do they both shoot up to the same place, like 40 something? Or does the one that has 0 links go 40 something, but the one that has 4 links go to 12? Because then I know, okay, 4 links, that's about $1,000, $1,200 roughly. Why that's going to cost me to build those links? Inner page, I need to rely on guest posts. I know how much a guest post costs, right? We do about a few thousand a year, right? And we've been doing this for 6 years. So that's roughly what it costs, right? About 1.2K, right? For this page. If I put this, will I get out of this ridiculous search volume enough sales to compensate for this 1.2K that I have to spend multiple times over? If the answer is yes, then I go to my other page and I do the same. But I want to be strategic with how I deploy money, right? Because I mean, I'm Spanish and Swiss in both cases. I don't like to waste money. So there's that for you. And then for things like controllers or speakers where the search volume is a little bit lower, then I can see, okay, Best Buy, no good. Razer, kind of. PC Gamer, okay, kind of, right? Very high DR. I can do some link building. Same, right? Distribute some power there. I feel a little bit more confident because I see here Vitur, right? With a specific product, the DR is a lot closer to where I want to go. They only have one backlink. So if I ram this thing here, I should be able to outrank Scaff Gaming and then catch up with these guys. I need to be very careful with my brand anchor text. As you see here, loads of links, 0 exact match, right? Every unique keyword calls for a different type of anchor text selection. You cannot use rules of thumb anymore. That was fantastic in SEO pre-2021. Okay, you no longer can do that. So don't go willy-nilly building gaming controller backlinks. Build your brand name backlinks for this particular keyword. Okay, enough blabbing about backlinks. We get it. You need those 100-ish points. This is some of the best places to deploy them. Some of them should go to products. Now, if you are going to do that, what products should you 100% have? How do you find that? AI-powered search engines like this one, right? So the question was, I want to set up a gaming room. What gear do I need? And I'm based in the USA, so it gives me local shops, right? It's going to give you a few different sources. You always have to study these sources, fuentes, right? And see what's being quoted here. Do everything you can to get yourself featured in any of these places. But even if you don't, what's most important is to know where it's pulling from. It's pulling from YouTube, it's pulling from Reddit, it's pulling from a different set of stores. So it's going to pull data from your own store. Also, if you rank your store, AIs will start recommending you. And so what can we do? We can look at the products. In this particular case, it's not giving me a lot, right? It's just giving me some examples, right? But if you look at ChatGPT's answer, it's a little bit better. Same query, but it's going to give me a few more details. So it's giving me some actual products, right? In this particular case, it's giving me this Alienware here as a recommendation. So you do know that about 9% of the users that will make their queries on ChatGPT and Perplexity instead of on Google. That's the current statistics as of September of 2025. That might change over time. In this niche, I would believe it's more around the 9%. Some other research says that the actual amount of searches that happen in the US on AI search engines instead of on Google is actually close to like 0.25%. I do know that to be true in more traditional niches like landscapers in Memphis. People won't go to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT was the best landscaper in Memphis. It's a very traditional search. People will go to Google. They trust that more. But, you know, a 70-year-old man who needs some stuff fixed in his backyard will not go to ChatGPT. Will just go to Google, I need a landscaper. This is my location. Give me one. It's going to call someone on the top 3 and maybe we'll scroll down a little bit on the results and call the top 1 or 2 organic results. That's it, right? So I have videos going through niches like that. For things like this, you want to look at what's ranking. So I look at some of these other products, for instance, the Alienware, right? And this is the results for the Alienware. I'm always going to look at the reviews term. Unfortunately, I cropped my recording wrong, so you don't see the term, but I'm looking for the Alienware, and then I'm looking for reviews. A few things for you to do in your own content. Number 1, if you're a retailer, not selling your own products, but just products from a lot of different brands, carry the products that AIs are recommending to the users in your niche because they will try and buy them. Very simple. And then do video reviews of said products. So for instance, you see here, Reddit is also adding a video there right? And as you come down here, of course, Google owning YouTube will recommend you itself, and it's going to give you a bunch of videos. If you can get yourself featured here, you spend some time in your warehouse, you do a quick video review. It doesn't need to be the best quality ever. You don't have to aim for a 10 out of 10. Just aim to cover as many of these terms as you possibly can. Exact match title. This is how this guy is outranking people like Monitors Unlocked, right? Very, very simple. And it's a bit of an older video. So if you can get here, then you can use the transcript of that video through ChatGPT or any other AI and create the blog post that will accompany your product page. So you have your product page, then you have a blog post about it, you have the video, all of that is embedded on the product page. That page will be ultra high quality and can rank for the long term, both the purchase them, so Alienware, AW, whatever, and then the reviews term, because you have a review on your website and you have user reviews, all that other stuff. That will live within your gaming monitors collections page /collections/gaming monitors, Alienware, this particular one. That's why you need good website architecture. How can you find other supporting terms that aren't products that you can publish content that's more informational in nature to build more topical authority? Answer the Public is a great solution. So if we come here to Answer the Public and we look for gaming chair, we have tons and tons and tons of questions, right? Contents that we can publish. Gaming chair for girls, for tall person. Is it any good? It's rocking? This is my problem, right? With the speakers, with footrest, leg monitor. This tells you loads of child collections that you can build. A gaming chair with speakers. There might be 3 models in the entire market. Doesn't matter, right? With footrest, there's definitely more models, but you can have multiple sub collections that are child collections of the big one that will be way easier to rank for without necessarily building links to those pages, because the parent page has links and it flows down, right? So it's going to be loads of ideas of ways that you can basically the same big catalog that you have, arrange it in sub collections that your users want to see. And then of course you can go through all the questions, right, that we have here, right? And start publishing that content. And sometimes you will have to put it as FAQs on your collections page. Sometimes you will have to publish a unique piece of content. You will see, right, if you think as a user, like, is this better served here or as its own piece of content that I will read on my own time? Do that, publish the right content, right? Research these, go to your competitors here. Look at what are the top pages that are the best performing pages for their brand. That will also tell you how much content in total you should be publishing. It's the same as backlinks, okay? This is just a bit easier because you can just use raw numbers. What do I mean by that? When Ahrefs decides to load, you will see Lethal has 856 pages that are pulling organic traffic from Google. You can just download this entire list, shove it into ChatGPT, and following the steps that I show you in this video, put those two ideas together and create a topical map for yourself so you can start creating more collections, more on-site content, and you can do the same for other competitors like this one, who ranks for tons and tons of keywords. And they're in a negative ranking state. So everything that they rank for, if you do a better job, you can take the positions from them. It's ultimately a competitive game. Now, one last piece of advice for you to take this into consideration when you say, okay, this is how many backlinks do I need? This is how much content I need. This is all the topics that I can publish. Amazing. This is all the subcategories that I can publish. Amazing. This is the subproducts that I should be carrying in my inventory, and this is what I can do, video, content, etc., to rank for those products. This is how all of this comes together. Then the last thing that matters increasingly more is the amount of brand equity that you've built online. A few things that you can do for that, but first you need to identify how much you're going to need. So when we come here to the organic keywords that are brands that has such a big brand sentiment, positive sentiment as Lethal, is why they're at the top. You come here, and what you're going to do is you're going to add a filter. You're going to go to keyword. You're going to literally enter the brand name. And you want to see how many branded keywords exist and what's the assumed volume, because all these tools assume volumes based on the data that they do have available, which is always incomplete. Only Google has the full picture. You're going to see how many keywords they rank for with their own terms and figure out, okay, 125 branded keywords. Let's see. Okay, so as you can see here, Lethal Gaming Gear, Saturn Pro, discount code, free shipping, coupon. Like, a lot of people are looking for this brand all throughout the world. A lot of it is in the US. So you do know you are going to have to go and build yourself a brand name alongside with your SEO strategy, which as you start ranking will help you build that brand name. But if you really want Google to put you at the top and you want to stay there, and you don't want for your brand to happen like what happened to loads of brands during the March 2024 update, where all the brands that had zero brand equity got wiped out. I have a video here that explains what happened. It was a debacle. Then you want to start building that. How can you do that? Incorporate a social media strategy into the mix. Publish content that appeals to your audience and have your brand name visible so people will look at it and says, who are these people? New content that I never heard about this brand, but I like this video. And they will start going and Googling your brand. Something else that you can do is run ads directly for the terms that you want to rank for in search, in the display network, all the other stuff, because it will start sending traffic directly to the pages you want to rank for. And slowly, all of that builds up into all the right actions in order to really position yourself as the right store to go and acquire this type of gear. It's a competitive space. There's millions and millions and millions to be done. This is not a little effort, just a few backlinks, a little bit of content, and you're good to go. But it's also not that you have to invest millions of dollars ranking for it. Once you have the data and you know how to analyze it, that you see, okay, 100 plus backlinks deployed to the right pages at the right speed with the right anchor text, with the right strategy behind all of that from the right sources, a combination of Haro, digital PR, some guest posts, some link insertions, fantastic. Publish a truckload of content, good collections pages, start building some brand equity. And while that is like about like 80% degree of resolution, it's not ultra HD, step-by-step exactly all you have to do. That will take me 3 hours instead of 35 minutes. It gives you a nice picture of what will be required to rank in a niche like this. So I hope that you learned something new. If you want analysis like this done for your brand, doesn't matter your niche, your country, everything, all the process is always the same. Go ahead on the description box below and grab yourself a copy of the link report. And last, if you enjoy these videos, stay tuned. I publish one of these every single day, unless I'm traveling or sick or something and I failed to record, but normally I do one of these every single day. And in every video, I cover something different. It's been an absolute pleasure to make this video. Hopefully you will learn something in this and the subsequent ones. And if you have any questions, by all accounts, drop them in the comments. I'd be more than happy to answer all your SEO questions there. Thank you very much for watching. This was Alejandro Mayahans. Have a great day.